don't forget to click that subscribe and bell icon to receive a notification each time I upload a new video. Hi everyone, it's Mike here and welcome back to my YouTube channel. So it's Saturday, so I thought I'd do another Saturday Hangout with me where I have a play with one of my new Digi-Download art journal sets. So let me turn over to my overhead camera, show you the set, and then we'll get cracking on doing a page. So let's take a closer look at the kit, or the sheets on the kit. So you've got the full composite image on this one. So this one, in its current state, measures from top of pointy hat to bottom of feet 8 inches, and which is about 203 millimeters or 20.3 centimeters, and from wingtip to wingtip, now let's see, I think that one's probably the widest point, 5.5 or thereabouts, 5.5, which is in new money 14 centimeters across. But of course, most printer drivers have the facility to be able to shrink. So all you have to do is to reduce it down by say 10 or 20% to get it to fit smaller journals. And again, on the obverse, if you've got a printer that will do A3, or you've got a journal that's way bigger, you can always print it a bit larger as well. If you bring the PDF file into a photo manipulation software, sorry, I'm falling over my own teeth there, you'll also find that it's got a transparent background. So if you know what you're doing, you could literally cut him out and use him on another background if you wanted to, if you've got one of those types of software. So easy as that. So you've also got a few extra bits and pieces on the front sheet. So you've got the quote, "Time flies, but you're the pilot," which is meant to be as one, and of course the Latin for time flies, tempus fugit or fugit, depending on who you ask. We've got two different sets of the word time, one done in what I call scramble tiles, because obviously the other one is copyright, and then you've got some typewriter keys. Now these will punch out of a 1-inch punch, so I did do them at 1 inch, so you should be okay with a 1-inch punch. They're just square, so no problems cutting those out, even with people with dexterity problems. So you've also got two strips up and down the left and the right hand side of the page. Now that is obviously if you want to make your own washi tape or faux washi tape, you can just cut those out in strips and then tear them and use them on the page. So that's those. On the component page, you've got all the bits that make up the character, which I haven't named, by the way, but just for the purposes, we'll call him Harvey today, for obvious reasons, big rabbit. So those are all the bits that make up the composite, apart from you've got the extra crown with the checkerboard kind of texture on the inside. And there's also some more quotes down here at the bottom. So the future starts today, time is all we have and do not have, and the future comes one day at a time, and then time waits for no one. Changed it slightly, make it a bit more non-gender specific. So you've got those, so you can, if you want to, incorporate the wings or leave the wings out and just have the butterfly wings, or you can just have the butterfly wings and not the ordinary wings. Or you could use the character without the clock altogether. So you can literally pose this one, move the arms whichever way you want to do. You can cock the head, you can lift the legs up, tilt them, you can do what you want really, if you use the composites. So again, if you wanted a smaller version of this, you just have to reduce it when you print it. So I've printed this on, it's about 200 GSM. So poundage wise, you're looking at maybe about 140, I think, or thereabouts. And then on the last sheet, if you look at the components in here, so if you look at that, it's in there. If you look at the wings, you've got the marble. If you look at those wings and the fringe on the skirt, it's there. And if you look at the hat, you've got that one there as well. So all those components kind of are in this, have been used in this kit. So what you could do with these is you could, if you wanted to create some borders, you could tear them to create decorative corners and then have pieces of the washi coming out from that, but we'll get to that in a bit. Or you can punch out circles or just cut out rough circles if you wanted to, and add those into the background of your page. So there's a lot you can do with just those. But also, if you wanted to create some card fronts, they're probably around about, not exactly, A6 or A2 if you're in the States. So they would sit on an A6 or an A2 card front. So there's all that in the kit on this fabulous Tempus Fugit, or Time Flies, new DigiKit. So I'm obviously not going to use the composite because that's just going to be a bit boring, watching me just stick that down and do all the rest. So I'm going to cut out all these pieces, and I may just cut out, I think, this quote as well from this sheet, but I will cut the 2 washi strips as well. The only thing I probably won't use is one of these 2 sets. I kind of like the Scrabble tiles, but I won't use that. I probably won't use those, and I won't use that, or maybe I will, I don't know, haven't decided, but I will use everything else, and I'll try and incorporate some of those as well. So I'm going to go away because I've waffled for long enough and my coffee's going cold, so I shall disappear off, cut these pieces out, and then I'll join with you again when I've done that. Okay, so I now have my tub of bits. I still haven't cut those bits out yet, I'll do those in a little while. But what I want to do is I do want to add a little bit of colour just to the edges of each of these. So for that, I've got tea dye. I've decided to use tea dye rather than vintage photo today, just for a little bit of variety. And all I'm going to do is just go around the edges. And as you can see, this is one of the really old tea dyes. And it's still going strong. Okay, so those are all our bits cut out, including the background sheets. So, oh, there's one piece missing, which I forgot to add. There you go, his little heart. So, you may be wondering why I switched from scalpel to scissors halfway through, mainly because my fingers started hurting. So that's pretty much all of the bits done and ready to start constructing my art journal page. Okay, so because of the size of the finished image, I'm going to be working in another one of my last few remaining pages in my Dina Wakley multi-surface journal. But because there's no size on this paper, I'm going to have to put a coat of gesso on it. So I'm just going to add some white gesso. I've got some paintbrushes and a little pot of water just here, just ready and waiting. So I will quickly just add a coat of gesso all over the page, just to help the next few layers of paint and whatever gubbins I decide to stick down on the page adhere a bit better. There we go, easy as that. I'll just get that dried and then I'll be ready to start adding in some colour. Okay, so I've reprinted these onto paper as opposed to cardstock, mainly because I've decided what I want to do, it's going to work better if I have a thinner, more flexible piece than the more rigid cardstock. So what I want to do here is I'm going to tear these bits into 4/4, and then I'm going to rip them diagonally like so. So probably we'll only need a couple. There we go, that should do. Probably will be better actually if I did that way, just to kind of keep it even. Okay, so I'm going to glue those down onto the page, just using whatever glue is handy. What have I got? Diary glue stick. Yep. So now then, let's just use the back of a piece of scrap. And then I can start sticking those down to create some kind of corner borders. It's been really nice and quiet here today because obviously Ian's away for another steampunk show this weekend. So it was nice and quiet until my neighbour decided she was going to start cutting her lawn. But hey ho. Right, as you can see, because I've used thinner paper, it's sticking a lot easier and forming to the page a lot better. There we go. So again, I'm going to take this piece and I'm going to kind of rip some kind of half circles. So sometimes it works better if you print some of the kit on one type of paper and some on another. Right, so we'll do the same thing again at the bottom. Because depending on what you want to do with it. But the beauty about having a digikit is the fact that you can just print page 1 or page 2 and then go to a different type of paper for one of the other pages. It's not like you're buying an off-the-shelf kit. You can pretty much customise however you want to. Right. Next one. And that can go along there. I do like these diary glue sticks. Right, also I've now got some of these washi strips. So what I'm going to do, so these are the thicker card, but because I'm using them in smaller pieces, it's still going to be alright just to stick them down. I don't mean, as I stick them down, I mean using the diary glue stick, which is better for thinner paper, but if you've got a small piece, it works just as well. It would have been a bit more difficult on those larger pieces. So as you can see, I'm building up a kind of frame around the page. Haven't added any colour onto the page yet, apart from the white gesso. So I'll do that in a little while. Okay, so what I am going to do is just add one bit at the top and bottom, just to kind of balance everything. Like so, and I'll just use the remaining piece Excellent. Happy with that now. So what I'm going to do next is I'm going to introduce some paint into the background. So I've got some Americana, and this is a desert cactus. So I'm just going to add a little smidge down onto there, and again grab a wet wipe like I did the last art journal page, but this time I'm going to kind of blend it towards the edges. I'm going to go real thin and just make it so the fact that we've added the gesso means that we're able to manoeuvre the paint all the easier. And this desert cactus paint is a really good match, I think, for these kind of green pieces here. So I'll just go over the top. That's come up a little bit, but I don't mind that. Okay, so darkish background. So what I need now is a stencil. Back in a moment. Okay, so before I remove any of that paint off there, I just want to add a little bit more of a browny colour into the background. So I've got some honey brown. So I'm going to just use a small amount, and I'm going to use the same wet wipe. I'm just going to take a little bit of that honey brown paint, and I'm just going to add a little bit of almost kind of rusty, kind of motley effect into the background of the green, onto the green. Just dab it. Give it a bit of grunge, because we like a bit of grunge. There we go. Okay, so just give that a quick wipe. No longer needed. And then the stencil I've got is my wall stencil. So again, wet wipe, and I'm going to do just a little bit of ghosting. I'm just going to take a little bit of that moisture out of the wet wipe, and I'm just going to gently kind of rub but in line. Rather than going up and down, I'm going side to side. There we go. Bit of tissue just to take up any excess water. It's almost as good as actually doing the stencil with white gesso. You get a real nice kind of like motley effect. Okay, so let's just give that a minute or two to dry, and then I'll be back to start adding in my collage. Okay, so the page is dry, so I'm going to start building up my collage to the side. So what I'm going to do is I've got some spirit glue, and I'm going to just start adding the pieces together. First of all, make some small clusters just so that I know where everything's going to go. So that's okay there. Do the same at this side. And forgive me if I stop talking again, just because I'm concentrating. Right, so we need to even out those wings, don't we? Make sure we get them nice and even. That's about right. Cool. And then we can stick on Mr. Bunny. So this is why I'm doing it over to one side first. And then just add on a few of our other little elements, like the heart. Which I will stick on there. I love the little heart shape. It's like a primitive folk arty kind of style heart, which is cool. I do like it a lot. Okay, so now I need the arm. So I'm going to wrap the arm around the clock face, just to kind of give it a little bit of depth. So in that way, and then twist it so it actually looks like he's carrying it. Put a blob of glue just on there. Wind's getting up a little bit. There we go. Now before we go any further, I just need to add on the skirt, the fringe if you like. So that just needs to tuck underneath. That's it. Just put a little glue down on that. Okay, we're getting there. Right, the other arm. This is a lot of fun. If you're, really capable of painting and drawing You know, there's nothing stopping you from creating your own characters, obviously. But if you can't, or not confident enough to draw your own, then creating composite images with collage is such a cool way to kind of express yourself without, you know, without having those abilities for drawing and painting. I mean, most people can cut out with scissors, because we're taught at a very early age to use scissors at school, in class. So it's a skill, you know, which is pretty much there. It's inbuilt to most of us. Right, I'm going to put feet down first. So I know where to position the rest of the body. Okay, and I'm using that bottom part of the frame as my ground for the character. Like that. And then I can lift the whole thing up. So we need to move over to that side a little. Yeah, I'm pretty happy there. So let's stick down those legs once and for all. Right. I think we said about there, didn't we? Yeah, that's about perfect. So I've just had a text of Ian just to say that where he is today it's very, very windy, which isn't really good because he's in a gazebo. Not inside, he's in the grounds of a castle. Okay, so feet down. Okay, so now we can go add a lot more glue now to the backs of everything else. Hadn't realised, I've just noticed. I've also used a brick pattern on that side. Right. There we go. So there's our, or my character, I should say, stuck down. Perfect. And we've still got room to add my quote. So we could do that. I think I'll do that. And then we can position the lettering up there. Like it, like it. let's just do that there. So again, I haven't actually mentioned this, but this DigiKit is called Time Flies and is available now on my website. So I'll put a clickable link in the description area below if you're interested in having a go at recreating this art journal page in your own style. Okay, let's just get these Scrabble letters. It would be the last one, wouldn't it? Right, what I always try and do when I'm sticking letters down is try and put the first and the last down, and then you can position your other pieces in between. Audition them. You know, people always laugh when we say audition. You audition your pieces. But trust me, it works. And that eye's upside down, isn't it? I did spot it, don't worry. If you were shouting at the screen, it's upside down. There we go. That also helps to hold that piece down up there. Now, on the last two art journal pages, I've gone round and consolidated everything on my collage items with a black pen. I'm not going to do that today, mainly because I've done it on the last two pages. And I just want to do one that shows the difference when you don't. So you can go around. So I'm just going to put the pin back in the glue bottle there. So there we have it. Now, what I do want to do though is do some splatters, which I haven't done for ages. So let me just grab my white gesso again. See, if you've got a white Posca pen or something like that, you could use that for doing splatters. I'm going to try and find, where's my fan brush? Oh, I've left it in the bathroom. I'll just have to go and get it. Bear with. Right, I've covered up that page because I don't want any white splatters getting on that. So this is going to be the page that we're going to do it on. So I'm just going to grab some white paint. Just put a little bit on there. I have got a spritzy water bottle somewhere. There we go. So just mix up a little bit on that fan brush. And I'm going to have to do this completely out of shot now, aren't I? That's rubbish. Right, I've got plenty on the brush, as you can see. There we go. It's just dripping now. I should have done everything on the other side, shouldn't I? Tell you what, let's just put that there. Right. Okay. Are we ready? I'm not going to do it because I managed to get splatters all over my fingers, but I'm happy with those splatters. I like that a lot. Okay, so I need to get this dried off and then I'll be right back. Everything's had time to dry, which is perfect, but Now that my main focal character of Harvey is stuck down, I noticed that there's no detailing really here. Where I've done the brick kind of marks up there, when I did them up here to do that kind of visual triangle, they've kind of disappeared. So I'm going to put some more over here. So I'm putting the stencil back down. I've got the wet wipe again, and I'm just going to give it a bit of a rub. Now I need to just do it a little bit harder because the paint has been dried for longer. But as you can see, because I've put that gesso down, it's still going to wipe off. There we go, that's more like it. I like that now. So that's that bit done. Just get a bit of kitchen towel just to take up any excess water from the baby wipe. Yeah, I'm happy with that now. I like it a lot. So what I could do is I could go around and just add a little bit of, well, what I am going to do, is I'm just going to add a little bit of the Stabilo All pencil just down here at the bottom, just to kind of help ground the character. And hopefully, if I've got I've got a water brush somewhere. I did have one with water in, but obviously I've put it away somewhere. Right, so let's just take some water. Let's do it over here. Right, just pick up some water on that brush. And then I'm just going to activate the pencil. I'll just turn it upside down. Mainly because it's easier to push it where you want it to go rather than it is to pull it, if that makes sense. There we go. That will dry obviously a lot lighter, but just adds a little bit of dimension just at that bottom under his feet. There we go. I think I'm happy with that. So I'm going to sign and date it. This time I'm going to remember what the month is. On the last page that I did, I wrote 7 rather than 6. I put July rather than June, and obviously we are still in June. It's the 25th of June today, so I'm going to just sign it up the side here. Let's see if we can get this pen to work. There we go. So 25th of the 6th, 22. And if I can find that page that I did the other day, I can't remember where I did it. This is the problem when you jump backwards and forwards in your book and you're getting a quick impromptu kind of, there it is. Well, I wrote 7 instead of 6. There we go. Job's a good one. Right, now then, where's the page I've just done? I knew I should have saved it. There we are. So that's it. That's all from me for now. I hope you've enjoyed watching me put this art journal page together. If you did, please remember to give the video a thumbs up because it really, really, really does help. And if you haven't subscribed to my YouTube channel already, you can do so by clicking the button at the end of the video. Don't forget the link to this DigiKit is in the description area below the video. So that's all from me for now. I'll see you all again very, very soon. Bye for now. I'd like to say a huge thank you to all of my angels, because without you, these videos would not be possible. And don't forget, you can access your exclusive angel-only content over on my website. There's a link in the description area below. Thank you.